Good morning. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Steph. You're a good mom.
Oh, thank you. And today, Steph's Middle School Souffle, we're doing part two. We woke up early this morning and we got church to listen to soon, so we got to get this episode going. This is my Nana, Joni Carlson Evenson, and my sixth grade son Silas. And today we're going to continue with our discussion of growing up in the 1930s and 40s. Again, here's my channel if you need parenting advice. Coming from a middle school teacher and a middle school parent right now, please go ahead, share, subscribe, watch. They're good tips. So I'm getting to you now.
Okay.
Just a review. Look at your beautiful red hair. I can't get over it. This is my Nana who will be 90. August.
And not a gray hair in her head.
Not a gray hair. 90 on August 20th. So I'm excited for your birthday. Mm-hmm. And this home, so right now on the screen, Nana, yes, is your farm in Robin, Minnesota. And did you know if I look up Robin, I can't even find it anymore?
No, it's all that's left is the modern Woodman Hall.
That's it.
That's all that's left in Robin, Minnesota.
And it's way at the tippity top of Minnesota, like way up. We say dat der oofda, yeah. But this is a beautiful house, and you grew up on a farm.
5 bedrooms upstairs and 1 down.
1 down? Who built it?
Knut Figgenskow. Many years ago. No relation.
And that, okay. So here's our assignment for today. Put that down. We're not eating right now. Pull up there you go. You can lean on Nana's leg. So the part 2 was thinking about yourself. Silas here is 12. He's going to be 13. You also have a grandson that's going to be 13 in October. And not now. Don't eat right now. And so we're talking about the years 1944 to 1945 and 1946. And so I don't know. I've studied, I've talked to a lot of families, a lot of cultures. I'm a history teacher, and here's what I've known. Child development is pretty consistent with cognitive and physical growth, but context matters too. So what's going around in your world really impacts you, Nana. So the events that were going on during your life that impacted you. Silas, do you want to read question 1, please?
Child development is pretty consistent with cognitive and physical growth, but content matters too. What events do you remember going on in your community during the mid-1940s?
Okay. Seems to me we were always active. They had their chores. The older ones had their chores to do because I was the princess. I was born 7 years after them. So I just couldn't do all the work they could do. Well, anyway, I do remember that Wednesday nights were a big thing in our hometown, and my dad played in the band, and they had they had a bandstand, and they had a little concert for it. That's what I'm trying to think of. Concert every Wednesday night, and they had Watermelon Day once in a while, and we'd go there, and we'd fill the 3-gallon cream can, and we'd go to town, and we'd sell the cream, and they'd go buy their groceries. Mostly it was the coffee, sugar, and things that were rationed that we brought home. And sometimes we got a dime to spend, and that was really, really not that often. But the one time I did get it, mine fell through the hole in the car floor.
Oh, no.
I lost my dime.
Oh, you still remember that?
Yeah.
So the rationing bit, though, this is World War II we went over, and
Yes.
you remember Pearl Harbor.
Yes. I remember sitting around we got a little radio from Uncle Dari brought it home from Chicago. And we were all sitting around the radio listening for President Roosevelt's chats, he called them, I think.
Yeah.
And we were listening, and he told us about Pearl Harbor, and the USS Arizona had been sunk, and we had 2 local boys on that ship that passed. So it was very, very sad for us. and
They went down with the ship.
they went down the ship.
I think
yes.
when I went to that memorial, their names were on the ship
Oh,
thing
yeah.
from Drayton, right?
Bosemont, yes.
Bozeman, okay.
Down next to them. But it was close together, so we knew everybody, and
So
that was sad.
you had mentioned too, your brothers went,
Yes.
and then but the attitude was also that you would help each other as neighbors because you were
yes.
kind of all in this together.
You exchanged work all the time. If somebody needed something, you went and helped them. And they came and helped us when we needed it. And
You said today people don't act like that. You need to be paid.
no, I don't know my neighbors. I know their name just in case I need something, but I don't know them. And it's not like the old days when you could walk to town. It's 3 miles. We walked to town often, and we went to a country school, District 35, and till the 8th grade. Then we went to high school in Drayton, so that was across the river. So
That's a good segue, Silas. She was talking about what she remembers about school, and so it was taught that you respected teachers and the adults.
oh yes, if you didn't respect the teacher, if you got in trouble in school, and when you got home, you got twice the trouble. So you tried to not get in trouble in school,
Yeah.
because it wasn't good. And for discipline, Mom was more the talk and understanding, and Dad, all he had to do was look at you, and you knew you better behave. And I wrote a poem once called "The Look." So,
That
and
mean look.
where are we?
Well, the school part, World War II was going on. The
yes.
teacher taught
Eighth,
all.
all 8th grades.
So Silas, you would be in the same class as a first grader.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
same room. It was a big room with desks and I went to District 35, and we saved during the war. We saved. You bring a dime. If
Sit up.
you could get a dime, and you would save it and bring it to school and buy a war bond stamp. And when you got your book full, then you could buy a bond with it. So that was very patriotic of us, we thought. And my mother sold war bonds, and she was the top one in the county one time, I know. So, and
Service.
Yes.
Service. And you said something about some boys would quit after 8th grade.
Oh, yes. When you got to be 16, you could quit school. And some of them quit. The older boys quit school because they went to the farm to help their dad farm. So most of those became farmers. So, but the rest of us went on to Drayton High School in North Dakota. And
Yeah, my grandmother, Dale's mother,
Yes.
that she only went to 8th grade.
oh, yes.
So I don't know why. I'm assuming she had to farm too. She has a big family.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but did most people from your school go on to high school?
Most of them did.
Okay,
Yes.
but then there was farming.
Well, it's only 3 at a time, like high school.
And you said 8th grade was pretty easy and you had programs and performances?
Oh, yes, yes. Little girl, and after the Chicago fire, they had this song, Little Miss Murphy. Oh, what? One dark and stormy night when they all were in their bed, little Miss Murphy took a light out through the shed. The cow kicked it over as he winked his eye and said, "There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight." And it certainly was. Chicago burned down.
Oh, goodness.
But we'd have programs in school and Christmas programs, and it was fun. And we had the Modern Woodman Hall, and we had parties there all the time. And they danced. My dad had an orchestra. He played the violin and trombone, and
So most people were musical and knew how to dance.
we all learned how to dance very early. And,
Yeah, that's
and
my favorite.
there's 36 bachelors in the town of Township, and 18 old maids. and, and there's always somebody to dance with. So
Oh, I love that. And Papa and you were, oh my gosh, you all,
Oh, yes.
my grandparents could dance.
yeah,
And I learned to dance through them,
yeah,
through you. So
Yes.
dancing, singing, music, that's how entertainment was.
yes.
And your behavior, you said that you were really well behaved.
Yes, it was.
But there was this like, and it's still there, the city people versus the country people, like
Yes.
rural versus the city. They have so much in common still. They do, but it's just
But my
funny.
city cousin Bev included me in a lot of things that I would never have gotten to if it hadn't been for her. So she'd take me to football games and basketball games and all those. She always made room in her car for me.
That's good.
So,
But
yeah.
you'd get teased when you go back. And when I say city and
Oh.
rural area, there's a lack of resources
Yeah.
sometimes, yes. But this still, they would tease you when you'd come back to the farm.
yes, when
Like,
I
oh,
came
you
back
think you're
from
so
being-
smart.
Yeah, I thought it was so smart I'd been in town for the weekend. And I guess they could tell it. One
Ooh.
time I went to town, and when I came home, I went to school a couple of days. And the third day, I broke out with mumps, and so did everybody else in the school. And they weren't too happy with me
I
going to
don't
town.
think so. They
So,
carried illnesses there.
Yes.
Mm.
And we didn't have shots like they have nowadays for every little thing.
Okay.
So,
What I wanted to ask you, though, we're running out of time.
okay.
But what advice? So you have your grandson here, Silas, who's in 6th grade, going to be a teenager soon, and Sam is going to be teenager soon in October, and they'll be in 7th grade. What advice do you have for your grandchildren?
Respect your elders. Respect your teacher. And be nice to them. And they'll be nice to you. So,
I was.
my mother's saying, do unto others as you have them do unto you. And I said that before, I guess.
No, it's
But
beautiful.
it's
Say it
okay
again.
to repeat it. So,
No, I was thinking about that. All of us, when it's universal. If you have a child, that child is an investment. You put your time and your energy and your love into a child because when you get older, that circle comes back around and
Yes.
hopefully your children will take care of you when you need that care.
Yes.
And you were so kind and you showed up to everything that we did that makes me, that relationship piece makes your grandchildren and great grandchildren want to come and help you and your own children. I think, because you showed up.
see, Silas, did you hear that?
That's that circle piece of just being a good human. So parents,
Yes.
we need to show up for our kids and invest in them.
Yes.
And in turn, hopefully they invest in us when we're older.
Yes.
All right, so wrapping up. Audience, I need your help. I want to interview my Nana again. This is me when I was, I think, 5th grade, actually, and we were at Christmas, and this is my Nana. I would love to talk about how you were a grandmother in the 90s, just looking at the differences, and then what's going on in your great-grandchildren's life, eventually another episode, and what advice you have, or just what you are seeing. So you can comment on Facebook or at my YouTube channel. It's Steph's Middle School Souffle. What episodes do you want to hear from a 90-year-old Joni, expert, like educator?
Expert, yeah.
Just let us know. And
Wait. I have one thing.
okay.
Wait, no, keep going. I'll tell my dad.
Okay. My next episode, I'm still in the 6th grade series, is going to be after school checklist. I'm in the process of creating that we did the hygiene checklist.
No, but we've already done the after-school checklist.
I didn't make the checklist though. The checklist I didn't go through, so we need to go through that. Okay. So again, share, subscribe. I just want to thank you. I love you.
Thank you. This
so
is
much.
Wait, by
I'm
the
so-
way, for share, comment on this video whether we should change the name. 'Cause it
Why?
sucked.
Why? Steph's Middle School. Do you know what a souffle is?
No, that's
Oh, you-
because
it takes
it's
so much
way-
time.
No, it's
Oh.
Okay,
way-
listen.
Time out.
We have 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Oh, you're just stopping us from arguing?
Yeah. Yes,
Let's
I got
change
something to
it.
say.
Okay, I love you.
Let's
Love
change-
you. Bye-bye.
Love you.
gotta
Bye
change
bye.
it. Comment.
No.
Comment.